you so much for coming here today. We have a great event set up for you today. Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule. I know you're eager to go back and make millions today, but we'll take 2 hours of your precious time and wanted to talk to you a little bit about why we're living a much better life right now, thanks to eXp and our family that we have here. We have great speakers today that have flown from Charlotte and California, and so I want to thank them for that. But before we start, this whole environment, the food, the drinks, and everything we do want to thank our sponsors for creating such environment for us. Chuck Zepp right here.
Yep, hi, those of you who don't know me, I'm Chuck Zepp. Been in the real estate business about 18 years. Been with eXp since June. I had no plans of looking at this. I actually said no 3 times, but I ended up switching in June. It's been a very good decision for me. I do have my own broker's license, and my end game was always to start my own small brokerage. So I ended up switching. It's been a great thing for me. I want to welcome you guys. I want to thank our sponsors. We have Omni Land and Title. Kim Fullwood, she's a great girl. Give a big hand to Kim. Kim is our main sponsor, and she also has an office there on Route 40, and she does allow us to utilize her office a lot of times, and she's great for doing settlements. Kim's been great with us. We also want to give a shout out to Kathy Brennan from Residential Mortgage Services. Kathy does a great job with the mortgages. We also want to give a big shout out to Chris with Picture Perfect. I just started using Chris probably about a couple months ago, and she does a fabulous job. Take a look at her booth out there. I've actually had a lot of success. She actually, once she takes the pictures professionally, she does shoot them out to all the agents that are in her group. And a lot of times I get pictures of listings before they even hit the MLS. So it's been a great job of doing that, Chris. It's a great for your photography and video also. We also want to give a shout out to JK Moving Services, Richard Stewart. Yeah, he's a great guy. He handles also your average moving, but he also handles a lot of, you've got a high-end client that has like a large wine or a specialty move. Rich is really good at doing that, so make sure you stop and see Rich. He does a great job. Also want to give a shout out to Rose Buckley of US Inspect. Rose is in the back there. She's got a good job there too. She's done a good job for you on your home inspection. She's a great girl, and her husband. Her husband is actually an agent with eXp. So thanks for our sponsors. We want to thank all of our sponsors for because without the sponsors, we couldn't make this event available to you guys and let you guys be able to see what this opportunity is like. Like I said, we've got a lot of great speakers. Actually, my cousin is going to be talking to you a little bit. She's from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's the one that I said no to a couple times and finally said yes. So she convinced me. So she's a great girl.
All right, thanks so much, Chuck. Just a very quick thing about Ali and I, a good team. We've been in business for about, 18 years? You've been in business 18 years. I've only been 2 months. Feels like I've been 2 months. So learned a lot from my brother and mentor here. We have a great team. We actually were introduced, thanks to your cousin, Shelly, into eXp. We were with KW for a year, Remax for about 16 years. Loved both brokerages, did great over there. But when we heard of eXp, kind of went over past the fear line. We're talking this morning, why didn't we do this earlier? Why didn't we do this 2 years ago? We've made lives better for ourselves, for our family, and our teammates that have come in. And we're grateful for Shelly to introduce us into eXp, and obviously our main speaker, Brent Gove, that introduced Shelly into eXp. Ali, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, well, without further ado, I want to introduce one of the top agents in the whole eXp, actually the whole world. First of all, give a wonderful welcome to Shelly.
So I'm going to use the microphone because my voice was not the best. I had a cold a couple weeks ago. I appreciate those nice words. I actually am a Maryland girl, And so I went and deflected to North Carolina, but I'm still at heart a Maryland girl. And it was kind of fun to drive through town and see all of the places where I used to hang out and share that with Brent and James. James is Brent's COO, correct? And he's basically, so basically it was fun to show them where I grew up and like where I used to sell real estate and all the great things we did as a group here. I had a small team and made the move in 2008 in a really rough market, as we all know. And partnered with a guy named Craig LePage in 2012. 2012, we were heads down, we got to get work done, we got finally the market's coming around, we're going to make a little bit of money, hopefully. So we basically put our heads down, we were not going to make any moves, we were just going to stay at KW, we were at Keller Williams, and worked really hard. And basically, I was one day looking around my team and I thought to myself, you know, these people are great folks, and I remember those days of 2008 vividly, and I thought to myself, well, what do we have next? What else is there besides that deal we did yesterday, or that escrow we're getting ready to close out? And basically, I had really no answer for that. So I was looking at my team thinking about doing a boutique, and I thought, well, let's just go on our own and do a boutique. That seems like a good, smart move. Let's take the money we're spending at KW, and let's give it back to our agents. Let's create some kind of wealth plan for them that's beyond today. And that was our plan until AJ Maida, a young guy, 32 years old, and his wife made the move to eXp, and we thought shiny object, the young kid doesn't know any better. And we basically watched him make that move and didn't pay much attention to it. He ran to my partner in the parking lot and he said, hey, if you guys ever decide to leave KW, you need to look at this. And Craig, my partner, looked at it. He watched a webinar that Brent actually did. And he came to me and he said, Shelly, you've got to look at this. And I was like, I'm not really interested. I've got a plan, we're in full motion, we're going to do this boutique thing. We have a whole idea how we're going to make this work for our team. And basically, long story short, we got on the phone with Brent after 5 days or a couple weeks of Craig saying, watch this. He made me watch it, physically took me in a room and said, sit down and watch this. And I did, and I looked at him like, you're right, we gotta dig a hole into this, we gotta figure this out. So we got on the phone with Brent, Brent challenged us, and he said, hey, we got a shareholders meeting coming up, you should come. I'm like, well, where is it? He said, oh, it's in California. I'm like, well, that sounds pretty and all. It's April. Not a good time to be going to any kind of place far away. Not to mention my business partner's wife is almost 9 months pregnant. I think she'd be real happy. So I politely said, maybe. And he basically said, I'll pay for your room. I'm like, great. And I went home and slept on it. And when my husband talked about it, came back to work to Craig, and I said, we need to look at this. We need to poke holes in this, figure out where the problems are. If anything, we learn something from it. We bring it back and we apply it to our boutique, because if you're a good leader, you're going to look at everything when you have a team. So we did that. We called Brent over coming, made the move, went out to California, met Glenn Sanford, June Frederick. Some of these names you know or don't know, but they're great guys. Met with Jason Guessing and met with Brent, and they showed us the model, and I could not unsee it once you saw it. I was like, okay, this makes complete sense for my team, makes complete sense for my family, and now we're going to make this decision as soon as we get back. So we did. We made that move. Didn't lose one agent. All our agents came with us, and it's been 17 months now. So it's changed my agents' lives, it's changed my life, it's created freedom. I get to do what I love to do instead of what I have to do. That's a big deal. And basically, I'm excited for Brent to come up here and share his story with you and why he made the move. And I'm thankful for people like him that took that chance when there was only 1,400 agents in the company and said, well, he had a much bigger stake at hand than I did. So I thought, this is a zero-risk move. It's an ego move. It's whether we're either going to make it or we're not, and we're making it big. So it's been great. We ran the NASDAQ bell last week. So it's been awesome. Thank you all.
Doing today, good?
Awesome.
All right, great to be here. I love this blue sky you guys got for me. Is it always like that here? Blue sky, it's sunny, and I'm still kind of cold. I was gonna throw this on. Well, my name is Brent Goff, and it is great to be here in, where am I, Baltimore, Maryland? Is that where I am? I don't even know where I am. I got off the plane and got wisdom to some hotel, but it is truly an honor to be here with all of you. What I'm gonna do is explain what eXp is all about, how it works, maybe answer a few questions you have about the model. What I encourage everybody to do here and maybe watching online is to stay in curiosity. Just I was talking to a great gentleman in the back there, and I said, hey, just stay in curiosity, learn about the model. Either it's going to pass the mustard test or it won't. Either you'll find a fly in the ointment or you won't. That was kind of my opinion of the model when I first saw it. Now, real quick, before I dive into eXp, give you a little background information on me. I promise to be brief. How about this? Married 27 years. I have 6 children, all boys except for 4 girls. And spent my first 12 years at Remax, loved it. Went to Keller Williams in 2009, spent 8 years there. So in 20 years, I changed companies once. Same mortgage officer for 13 years, same escrow person for 15 years, same transaction coordinator for 15 years. So I'm not a guy who likes to change. I find people I like, I stick with them. You know, spent a long time at Remax, a long time at Keller Williams, and was convinced I would retire at Keller Williams. Greatest place on earth for me, not everybody feels that way. But I not only drank the Kool-Aid, I made the Kool-Aid as a former team leader of the #1 most profitable Keller Williams in the world. Made more money than Austin, Texas, more money than Gary Keller's office himself. It was #1 in profits. We were very proud of that back in 2009, 2010. So fast forward 2 years, 3 months ago, I get a call from a friend of mine out of Dallas, said, oh my gosh, Brent, how are you? How you been? Great. We hadn't talked in a few years. She said, I'm dying to ask you a question. Have you heard of this new model, fastest growing model in North America, eXp Realty? I'm like, nope. And so she says, would you give me your opinion on the model? I'd love to know what you think. I said, sure. So I took a look at what you're about to see, knowing one thing for sure, that I would not be interested. I mean, what in the world could possibly be better than Keller Williams? And maybe you work at Remax, maybe you work at Sotheby's or Christie's or John Foster. What is it called?
Long and Foster.
What?
Long and Foster.
Long and Foster. Foster Freeze? I don't know. But I'm just kidding. But here's the deal. We don't have Long and Foster out where I am, so no disrespect meant there. Maybe you work at Long, and if you work at Long and Foster, I hope you love it. I hope you think it's the greatest place in the world. Why else would you work there if you didn't feel that way? Okay. So, but let's dive into it. You ready to kind of explain what it's about? I'm thinking about titling this Brent Gove Exposes eXp for what it really is. You like that? Anyways, kind of a fun, catchy title. But here's Glenn Sanford, our founder, and he has a vision to start eXp in about 2005. He was in charge of technology in a mastermind group of about a very small group of people at Keller Williams. And he could see the future was cloud-based. After all, well, we'll get into that in a minute. Like Uber, Airbnb, Netflix, Amazon, you get the idea. And so he envisions this. Now his background is he spent time in the early 90s as a stockbroker, very important. And then he's also from Bellingham, Washington, and he's a total Microsoft tech computer geek nerd. And so when you combine those two rivers, you create eXp. Those two backgrounds end up becoming paramount importance. So here's the idea, this cloud-based brokerage basically is very innovative, and you can do business anytime, anywhere. We have the traditional kind of old school way of doing things, brick and mortar, right? And probably the best example of this is Netflix. You got Blockbuster. Who remembers Hollywood Video? Anybody? Hollywood Video. Remember that? And do you remember when they were no more? Remember that? And who is the #1 800-pound gorilla in America who put all the mom and pop video stores out of business, put Hollywood Video out of business? Pretty much was Blockbuster. Remember that? In fact, just for fun, show of hands, who here has ever been in a Blockbuster? Raise your hand. The whole room. Boom. Pretty successful model. I mean, they were the deal, right? And Netflix comes along and they say, look, we got this idea, it was just an idea, and they want to sell it to Blockbuster, as the story goes, for, I don't know, 20 million or something. I don't know the particulars. And Blockbuster said, no, thank you. We have thousands of locations all throughout Canada, the US, and around the world. We love it. We are a $6 billion company. I mean, this would be like Coldwell Banker putting everybody out of business in Baltimore or Maryland. And if you bought or sold real estate here, you did it to Coldwell Banker. That's what they achieved. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And they said, no, thank you. Besides, we're locked into these 5 and 10-year commercial leases. We couldn't even change if we wanted to. Very important point. Toys R Us could never be Amazon. Sears could never be Amazon. 300 Staples closed in the last 3 years, 100 a year. They can't be cloud-based. The Marriott, the Hyatt Corporation, the Four Seasons, they can't be Airbnb. So when you start really wrapping your mind around this, so what happens is they went out and did it because Blockbuster wouldn't buy them, and 5 years later they don't take 20% market share, which would have been awesome. They took it all. They bankrupted Goliath. They bankrupted a 800-pound dominant gorilla who so things are changing. We all agree the internet's getting bigger, not smaller?
Yep.
So who's the first company into that space for real estate? It's eXp Realty 9 years ago, 2009. It's now 2019. And they created this wonderful brokerage. And it's basically a brokerage that works in a cloud campus. We have offices. Ali and Abbas, who you just saw, have beautiful offices. Shelly, who just introduced me, beautiful offices. I had 3 at Keller Williams. I moved out, and now I have 5. We agents have offices. You're not going to be working from Starbucks, okay? So we'll talk about how you will have offices. But eXp doesn't have any. And that's a very important distinction because as the market tightens, when we go through a shift, what brought down mortgage companies and title companies, real estate companies, were those big, fat commercial leases with all the expenses. So basically, because we're cloud-based, there's no desk fees. You can work from anywhere, cuts the overhead of brick and mortar, no expensive commercial leases. So we put our money into agent support and technology to drive leads to your phone. Yesterday I was talking to a RE/MAX agent in Northern California where I'm from. And she goes, but I have to give up my website I love my website. It's the best website ever. And I'm like, wow. She's here, I'll send you a link. I get it. Sure enough, it is a slick looking website. She's got a beautiful headshot. And it was really nice. I agree with her totally. And I go, let me ask you a question. How many leads do you get every week from that? And she didn't respond real quick. And she goes, well, none. I go, well, how many do you get every month? She goes, well, I don't get any leads. I mean, my clients just know it's there. And I like it. I go, that's good, okay? What eXp does is we actually provide lead generation and CRMs. We're going to give you a choice of 2 companies, which is Conversion and Commission Sync. Now, Conversion is $600 a month on the open market. You can all have it. Google it. You can sign up for Conversion with a K, KU, Conversion, converting leads. And they're an independent company from eXp. They're one of the #1 platforms in the country. Have you ever wondered how agents sell 100 homes a year? That's a lot of homes. 200 homes a year? 500? They have amazing, high-end, top-of-the-line tools, and they're expensive. $600 a month. Well, eXp over here went to them and said, we'll take $16,000. Now, if you go Google them today, how many websites are you going to get from Conversion, sign a year contract on at $600 a month? How many? 1, if you even do it. You could go do it. And they work, by the way. And people do it all the time. They line up and pay $600 a month gladly. The other company's Commission Sync. They are $1,600 a month. How do I know that? Because when I came to eXp from Keller Williams, I had 18 partner agents, 12 buyer specialists, and 6 listing specialists. So I kind of had it dialed in, doing about 118 million a year in sales, right around there. And 5 of my 18 agents were paying Commission Sync $1,600 every single month, gladly on their credit cards, because what? That platform, like Conversion, was cranking out so many leads that I watched their volume when they got this tool. They were all averaging about $350 a house. Sacramento is one of the most affordable, large metropolitan cities in California. Excellent job market, but the prices of real estate are very inexpensive, much like here, and similar pricing here. And I watched their average price go up to about $650. That was interesting. Sell 20 homes at $350? Good. 20 homes at $650? Better, right? And so they were able to target and get into those markets. And then I noticed something interesting. They started knocking down sales at 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 million, which they had never done. And that's why. Do you know what the commission is on that? And if you were getting this consistently, would you happily put $1,600 a month on your credit card? Now, eXp went to Commission Sync and said, we'll take 16,000 of those too. And so if you were to go into Fry's and get a 70-inch, big old flat screen TV, and they go, you're in luck, we're having the Martin Luther King Day we just had, right? We're having a special in honor of Martin Luther King, and that TV is normally $29.99, and it's on sale for $19.99 from Sony, or from Samsung, or whoever it is. You go, awesome, I love it, I like the quality. I forgot to tell you one thing. I'd like 16,000 of these because I'm from the Hyatt Corporation. We're going to outfit every hotel in the world with these TVs. I need 16,000 of them. Do you think you'd actually buy the TVs from Fry's or Best Buy, would you? No, you go directly to Sony or Samsung where you get an economies of scale discount. And do you think you'd pay anywhere near $2,000 a TV? You might end up paying $299 or $399 for each TV. I don't know what they charge eXp for these websites, but every eXp agent gets them for $50 a month. Is that sustainable? Is it affordable? Because some of you are like, gulp, I'm not paying $600 a month for a website, right? $1,600 a month, that's a mortgage payment. Are you kidding me? Don't even own it, you're just renting it. So eXp is going to bring you not good tools, but the best in the country. You will sell more real estate. What can you expect to get? A minimum of 10 to 20 leads a week. 40 to 80 leads a month at a minimum. Now you do need to spend at least $100 a month on marketing to get those leads. Do Facebook ads and this and that. You go, I tried it before, it didn't work. You tried it before with the crummy website. Okay? You did not drive that traffic to the conversion website. There's a reason they charge $600 a month. You didn't drive that leads to Commissions Inc., which is more sophisticated. If not real techie, I recommend Conversion, which is me. And so, bottom line is, you may have tried it before. I tried sushi once and didn't like it, but I like it now, right? And so, you try it again, I mean, the Brussels sprouts, are you kidding me? But my wife goes to this one place, I'm like, these aren't bad. They're really, never mind. Now, you get the idea. So here's the deal. I just talked to a RE/MAX agent, remember, and she's getting no leads from her website, and guess what? She has Realtor.com, and she pays $150 a month to Realtor.com, right? Guess how many leads she gets a month? 4. I go, my contract's up next month. I go, don't renew. Take 100, drop it, $50, pick 100, and I'm going to get you 10 to 20 leads every week, 40 to 80 leads a month, versus 4 for 150. You're going to get 40 to 80 for 100. Now, so you get the idea with the lead generation. The second thing is training. By the way, there are 4 reasons to come to eXp, I found. It boils down to 4. Number 1, leads. Without leads, where are we? When you have nobody to show property to, no listings to have on the market, where are you? You're dead in the water, right? Leads is job 1, that's why we start with leads. Number 2 is training. Training at the highest levels. eXp is into training and education. I mean, honestly, I never thought anybody would hold a candle to Keller Williams. I mean, we are a training monster company. 2 or 3 classes every day in our office. Every day, I'm like, who's going to do that? Not us, not eXp, because we do 5 to 10 every day. Not 2 or 3. 5, write that down if you're taking notes. 5 to 10, some days 13 classes a day. Well, if you're new, I recommend you take classes every day, 1 or 2 days. Take your learning curve slow and painful, like most agents experience, and they sell an average of 6 homes a year, or take a lot of classes, be a sponge, be a student of real estate, and invert that learning curve and succeed quickly. Who likes slow and painful? Who likes to get the pain over with and just succeed? I mean, I'm up here because I failed more at everything I've ever done than all of you. I've done so many open houses that were duds. I've done open houses where I'm on my knees praying to God that He would send somebody through the door. Am I the only one? Am I the only one with kids and bills to pay? I've been there in the late 90s. And like, well, I just got real estate. Welcome to praying. Okay? You will pray more. Now, so training. We have wonderful classes on sales and lead generation and how to list homes and contract reviews taught by the state brokers. We're in all 50 states. We have brokers. There's 3 brokers from the state of California. They teach classes every week. And you can plug in or not plug in. So we have CRM, tech tools, everything you can dream of. How to build a team. How to hire your first assistant. Commercial real estate masterminds. It's all there for you. Plus we have real life events just like this. So again, number 1 is leads. Number 2 is training. We want you to be more successful, more dynamic, more powerful. And this is the virtual world we have. Now when I first saw this slide, I hated it. If you're a guest here, you're like, are you kidding me? I have kids. Kids like video games. I don't like video games. Okay? And so my kids are like, oh, that's cool, you know? Kids are like, this is cool. You guys are old, okay? And so you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But this is how we're able to have stock awards. This is how we're able to share the revenue, because you can't have both. If you can't be a revenue sharing company and have massive overhead. The way it's always been done is not the way things will be done in the future. Ask Ford, Chevy, and Dodge in the 70s when Honda and Toyota came out with cars that got 30 miles to the gallon. They're like, and you know that I'm going to Detroit on Saturday, the Motor City, and for a while it was called what? The Rust Belt, right? And they almost didn't make it. And so don't just get stuck in the way things have always been done. Times are changing. So we have staff, 40 full-time agents in the cloud. I mean, staff, employees, nope. 140, nope. Over 350 full-time employees that work in the cloud. We have a full-blown marketing department where you get marketing materials, luxury, commercial, residential, whatever you want to do, it's all there. We have a full-blown accounting department. Show me my stock awards. When do I get those? When can I cash them? When am I vested? Show me my commissions. You know, I'm closing 102 Main Street this Friday. Will I get paid Monday? No, you will not get paid Monday. Because when we close, they hand you the check. Well, that was different, because for 20 years, when I closed at RE/MAX, for 12 years, it went to RE/MAX Corporate, bounced around there for 2 or 3 days, and I get paid. If the courier didn't lose it, right? And then maybe it's done differently here. And then at Keller Williams, it went to the MCA, Market Center Accountant, and he would mess around with it, and they make sure the file, then I get it 2 or 3 days later. And at eXp, when it closes, the escrow officer hands you your check, or wires it to your bank account, at least in California. Ollie, is that similar here?
We get it checked right off.
Right at closing,
Right.
like 1 minute after close. Now, if that bugs you, stay where you are. Okay, next. So we have that's a mastermind. If you look at every seat is filled here, there's a woman leading the mastermind, and there's people standing because they can't get a seat at the table. Just like in this room, there's people standing around the back because they can't get a seat at the table. We have auditoriums, multiple auditoriums all over campus. What is a local campus here in the area? Name. College campus.
UMBC.
What?
UMBC,
UMBC?
University of Maryland, Baltimore campus.
University of Maryland, Baltimore campus. When you go there, there'll be, engineering classes, there'll be accounting, there'll be business, there'll be, a variety of classes that you can audit. I recommend you go in the world and sit through some of our classes. I teach a class. I've sold 4,000 homes in 22 years. I am qualified to teach on lead generation, trust me. I currently have a 23 agent team, 18 when I left Keller Williams, 23 now. I probably turned away 20 agents last year. I could have a 43 agent team, no problem. Because agents are so attracted to the model. What do you mean? Well, 2 years and 3 months ago when I came to eXp, there were 1,400 agents. Today, there's 16,000. Now, if we just doubled to 2,800, that would be amazing. We didn't double. We didn't triple. We didn't quadruple. We exploded. That's eXp. What's it stand for? There you go. Now, so it doesn't. By the way, our founder, it was only 3 letters our founder could get in all 50 states. It stands for nothing, in case you're watching. Now, so expert, realtor, eXplode, I don't know, expand, I don't know, we have fun with it. So we have classes you can take, auditoriums, masterminds, help, training, brokerage operations. I can get to my broker quicker than any one of you can get to your broker at Long & Foster, at Keller Williams, at RE/MAX. I promise you, I can be sitting in a chair with my broker in about 60 seconds. And I'm out here in Baltimore, Maryland. You have to drive to your office, wait for them, sit at their table. Well, his door's always open. Why don't you get to drive to your office? I point and click, and it brings me right into the brokerage office in California. I can be talking to a Canadian broker in about 60 seconds for Alberta, Calgary, Ontario, and we're sitting there. Now, she looks like that, or he looks like that, and I'm a cartoon figure too, okay, fine, but it sounds like this. We're having full-on real discussion. I literally say, you mind if I take a seat? Yeah, and you put your mouse in the seat, click it, and it sits me down. And we're having a discussion. Hey, I get this client, they're really upset, they want to sue the seller, and the seller's upset. What do I do? Isn't that what you can see a lot of your brokerages for when things get dicey? Or, hey, they're fighting over a property line, everyone wants a survey, they're demanding we pay for it. Oh, what do I do? You can have those questions, except the brokers at eXp are accessible like that. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. After 20 years, are you kidding me? My Keller Williams broker, he'd be in meetings all day long. Last April or May, I think it was May, and last week we rang the bell on the NASDAQ. I'm about to show you pictures, and eXp was featured on the NASDAQ, Wall Street. Times Square, you go there, it wasn't Justin Timberlake, baby, it was eXp, all over Times Square. And we're not a penny stock anymore. We're on the New York Stock Exchange. We're a publicly traded company, and it's a big, big deal. And the stock you get given to you, he's like, well, I go, let's take your supposition and say you're right, that the stock goes to zero. How much is my Keller Williams stock? And if you're here from Keller Williams, this is the question we have. How much is my RE/MAX stock? Keller Williams, how much is it worth after the 8 years I was here? He goes, well, you don't have any, do you? I go, no, I don't. And he goes, oh, I said, so if eXp stock goes to zero, I'm a Keller Williams agent. I'm a RE/MAX agent. I'm a Long and Foster agent. The guy, there's a handful of people that own these. Gary Keller owns all of Keller Williams. He bought out Joe Williams in the 80s. He owns it all. It's privately owned. He's a billionaire. Dave Liniger owns RE/MAX. He's a billionaire. What do you own? Well, I just work there. This is like someone saying, no, I'm going to rent for 20 years. How many think it's a really good idea, people, to rent for the next 20 years? Well, what else? I don't want to go independent. I agree, you probably shouldn't do that, but watch this. So we have, when you do your first closing of the year, you get shares of stock in eXp. That's how everyone becomes a shareholder. And we all own a piece of this company. A rising tide rises all ships. You know the stock used to be years and years and years ago? 13 cents a share. And then it went to $1, right? What's that? 6, 7, I can't, 13 times what is that? 7, 8 times it grew. And if you bought it, if you invested $1 million, that'd be $7, $8 million return, okay? And then it went to 2, then it went to 3, and that's where I got in at 290. Now it's at over 10. It'll be interesting to see where it goes this year. Past performance is no future prediction of returns. I have to see that to keep the SEC happy. I don't know what's going to happen to stock. I'm not here to sell you stock. I'm just glad I have it. And when you cap, our cap at eXp is $16,000 a year, which means once we collect $16,000 through an 80-20 split, so if you get a $10,000 commission, you get $8,000, eXp gets 2. How many sales do you need to make to cap? 8. 2 times 8 is 16,000. So if you do about 8 sales around here, now if you're selling lower priced homes, maybe it'll take you 10, but 8 to 10 sales, you're going to cap. Like, well, I do 20 sales a year. I just talked to a gentleman in the back, he does about 25 sales a year. So he would cap in about 4 months, which means you go off the 80-20 split and it becomes a 100% split for the next 8 months. You get 100% of your check, minus some small fees, which I'm about to cover. When I say small, like 25 bucks, 40 bucks, small fees. So, but when you cap, it's 16,000 paid in, you earn more stock in our company. When you refer an agent to eXp, I referred over 60 to RE/MAX easily in my 12 years. Loved the company, very happy there. Did not leave RE/MAX because I wasn't happy. I just studied and studied Keller Williams. I'm going to go give it a shot. If I don't like it, I go back to RE/MAX. Not like I'm married to Keller Williams. I ended up loving it, and for me it was a much better situation. Not for everyone, but for me it was. You know, how much stock did I get in RE/MAX for referring 60 agents? None. One of those agents, many of them were very successful. One of them was my neighbor. Within 4 years, he was selling over 300 homes a year, my neighbor, from scratch. RE/MAX got paid 300 times a year. Brent got paid nothing. Refer someone to Long and Foster. And if they sell 25 homes, how much do you get paid? I just have a good feeling. They're happy along, and that's good. Good feelings are good, but they don't pay the bills. So at eXp, we're going to do revenue sharing. Every time they sell a home, you're going to get paid. I like that deal. My parents in the 80s were referred to Coldwell Banker by Marge Anderson. And basically, they stayed 25 years. I come from a real estate family, over 50 years, real estate brokers. 25 years. Imagine if Coldwell Banker had this program and Marge Anderson got paid every time Jim and Carol Gove, my parents, sold a house for 25 years. That's what we're talking about here. Other companies can't do it because they have overhead. Now, Keller Williams has thrown their head in Coldwell Banker's thrown their hat in the game. They actually are a revenue sharing company now. They're copying eXp. They just came out for revenue share this past year. You refer an agent to Coldwell Banker, they give you 2% of the commission the first year. That's what I've been told. The second year, they give you 1% of that agent's commission. The third year on, nothing forever. Okay? You know, they're trying, but on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a 1 mimicking our system. You'll see why. Now, we have an icon program, which is when you cap and do 20 sales, which means you have to sell about 28 to 30 homes a year. They actually return $16,000 worth of stock to you. So you pay in $16,000, you get it back in the form of stock. A stock that went from 13 cents to $1, and then fought its way to $2 and $3 years and years later, and now in 2 years and 3 months, it's gone to 10, which tripled. That's the stock. Well, I'm not impressed. Okay, fine, don't accept it. I mean, it's like Long and Foster or Intero or Berkshire Hathaway or Better Homes or Remax going, all that money you gave us, here you go, stock in Remax, stock in Coldwell Banker, are you with me? And it's not a bad deal. And so what you really pay to be an eXp, not much. And this is, again, you have to be doing at least 28 to 30 sales a year around here with your price point to do that. I have agents in San Jose, average sales price is 1.3 million. 2 sales they cap. They sell a home in January, a home in February, they're at 100% March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, the rest of the year. My San Francisco Bay Area, San Jose agents love it. So for them, it only takes 22 sales to cap, not 20 to 30, because their house prices are so high. Next, agent equity program. Have you heard of companies like Microsoft and Intel and Google and Facebook? A lot of times they have what's called employee benefits packages, where they allow their employees to buy, say, Intel stock at a discount. Well, eXp is doing that, not with employees, because we're not, we're independent contractors, but with agents. It's called the Agent Equity Program. And you're allowed to take up to 5% of every sale and purchase stock at a 20% discount. I thought I'd give it a shot. My first year, I bought $46,000 worth of stock with 5% of my personal sale income, and that has tripled. So now that you with me? I have, I don't know, $350,000 in that account compared to 20 years of nothing. Like, well, it may go to zero. I guess it's a possibility, but you know, is eXp sustainable? Let's see. Do we have these offices and all these leases? Do we have copiers and phone systems and computer systems and secretarial staff at the front desk and the managers and brokers and all the TIs and all the overhead that a normal office has? We don't have that. So the sustainable company is Uber, and Yellow Cab just went bankrupt. The sustainable company is Airbnb. They don't remodel any hotels. They don't buy any mattresses. They don't have a whole fleet of maids. They don't have people to fix things when they break, all the people that run around and fix stuff. They don't have any of that. Airbnb's doing just fine. How about your local travel agent? Gone. Record stores? Gone. Digital downloads. Flights? Just point and click, you get what you want, go where you want. The future is being driven to the internet. And we can be a part of it. They can be a part of it through Zillow. You can be a part of it through Redfin, Amazon, I don't know, or eXp. We're the one that is for the agent. Created by agents, superstar agents for the agents. So, that's a pretty cool program. We'll end with this. Again, 4 reasons to come into eXp. Number 1 is leads. Hands down, that's what you need. Number 2, training. Gotta know what you're doing. Number 3, stock awards. Ownership. A rising tide rises all ships. Right? You guys may have not heard of a franchise called Intero, but a guy named Gino in the Bay Area built it, and I think he sold 60, 70 franchises to Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company, for $100 million is what I was told. And I asked all the franchise owners, how much did you get out of the $100 million? They're like, nothing. I just own this little bitty franchise I'm trying to make work. I went to Intero employees, how much did you get out of that $100 million? They're like, nothing. If Gary Keller sold Keller Williams or Dave Liniger sold Remax, the Remax agents and Keller Williams agents get nothing. If Coldwell Banker sold, and they did, they're owned by Realty now, the Coldwell Banker agents get nothing. Develop some equity. We went from 1,200 to 16,000. This year we'll be headed to 40,000, and the following year 100,000. You can be a part of it or watch it happen. Here was my big thought. I'm going to give it a shot for 6 months. If it works, great. If not, I go back to Keller Williams. I'm not buying the franchise. We're a national company. Nothing to sell you here. It's $149 to get started with eXp. Okay, I spent more on sushi. Right? So it's not a capital risk. Well, what exactly type of risk is it? It's an I told you so risk. What do you mean I told you so? I told you it wouldn't work. All right, I tried, it didn't work. I like an I told you so risk rather than a capital risk, right? You with me? So, the fourth reason to come to eXp, and this is actually the reason I chose. I didn't come for leads, already selling hundreds of homes a year. I didn't come for training, already involved in lots of training besides Keller Williams. I didn't come from the stock, it never interested me. I was not interested in anything I just told you about the stock. I came for this. This is why I left the company. Not that I liked. I did not like Keller Williams. I loved it. I was passionate about Keller Williams. I've hung out with Gary Keller. Me and him in a little kitchen having coffee, just chatting away. Great guy. Great company if that's what you want to do. Nothing wrong with that company. Nothing wrong with RE/MAX or any of them. I just wanted something different for me. I wanted ownership. I wanted a chance to have this. And this is the big deal. So if you're going to listen up, the next 5 minutes is where you need to really focus. If you can put your phones on airplane mode or just try to, this is it. You miss this, you miss the whole reason. You might as well not even come. So take pictures if you want, but this is our cascading revenue share program that other companies cannot copy or emulate because they have to wipe out all their offices, and they can't wipe out their offices because they're locked into 5 and 10-year leases. Sears and Toys R Us and Staples and over 8,000 major retail chains were locked into what they were doing. They don't let you out of those leases at the mall. They don't let you out of these commercial leases. They'll chain the door if you can't pay the lease. I had a friend who bought an Antero, and they're like, we're locking the doors tomorrow. And 40 agents were crying all night as they helped their friend, the owner of that Antero, move everything out of that office into U-Hauls and just throw it in his garage at his house. And that was the end of his company overnight because he couldn't pay the rent, and the commercial landlord was locking the doors with a chain the next day. They worked till after midnight. That's normal. Okay, now watch this. So here's how this works. We have a 7-tier system. We copied it, I'll just say it, from Keller Williams. They've used a 7-generation system for 25 years to share profits with their agents at Keller Williams. It's totally accepted and legal. They're a profit-sharing company. We are a revenue-sharing company. You could send 20 agents to Keller Williams. You may get some awesome profit share. You may get not much. I'll tell you what mine was last month. I've referred over 55. I have hundreds of agents in the Keller Williams profit share system over the years, and I'll share with you what mine was. But here we go. So here's how this works. Tier number 1 is every agent you refer to eXp, if they cap, do $16,000, which means around here they do 8 to 10 sales. That's your target market. You will get $2,800 of the $16,000. If you add up these numbers in the middle column, they add up to 16 grand. So what eXp does is they break off little bite-sized rewards. When I say little rewards, at RE/MAX, when I referred over 60 agents in 12 years, I received 3 gift cards for $10 at Starbucks from thoughtful managers throughout California. Said, thanks for seeing you, Judy. Thanks for sending us Bill. He's going to do great here at San Diego RE/MAX. Please keep the referrals coming, because it was just a laydown for that manager at RE/MAX, and he was looking good to the owner who's, you know. So that was what I got. I got $30 in 12 years. You know, well, some people will say, and by the way, we just attract agents. But every agent you attract, if they cap, you get $2,800. What if they only do 4 sales here in Baltimore? Then you get $1,400. What if they only do 2 sales? Then you get $700. Every month we have revenue sharing on the 22nd. There's a sale, you get paid. End of story. They sell a home, you get paid. Okay, so watch this. What if the first year you refer 10 people to eXp? That was my goal when I got here. I think I can refer 10 to this. People want training, they want leads, they want stock, and they can participate in this. If you refer 10 that cap, you get 10 times $2,800. How much is that? $28,000. You take a nice vacation. Did you all pay for your kids' college education? Could you just say, this is to pay down my home? And every year you put $28,000. All you did was refer 10. Now the managers at Coldwell Banker, RE/MAX, Keller Williams, team managers, hey, Ollie, you are not a recruiter. Claudia, you're not a recruiter. Get focused on your real estate business. They don't want you to do what they're doing, because Coldwell Banker, they recruited agents, they built a huge company. RE/MAX, Dave Liniger, he recruited agents, built a huge company. Keller Williams recruited, they like to use the word attracted, so do we. Agents, they built a huge company. That's what they're about. They're about building. Get rid of the words recruiting, say building. But someone saying you're not a listing agent is ridiculous. It's your decision. whether you're a listing agent or not. So like, well, you can't do it. Yeah, I tried, it's kind of hard. Well, I tried listings too the first 2 years, and I sucked at it too. And I didn't like it, and unfortunately I got some of those listings, and the seller's like, what are you doing to sell my house? Why don't I see it in the horse magazine? Why isn't it in Unique Homes? What the hell's the matter with you? My God, sellers are horrible. And for the following 2 years, I wrote them off. They called me, hey, would you come list my home? I'm like, nope. Meanest people in the world are sellers. I'm a sanguine, outgoing guy. Heck no. I go, you're in the pocket area of Sacramento. Yeah, Century 21's real active down there. Call them. Did you even make a referral? Nope. I literally would go, get away from me, because I had such a bad experience with sellers. Well, I tried to recruit someone, or it was hard. It took me 10 years to figure out how to list homes. So I get this eXp thing, and I did real estate Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I called Friday mornings, Friday afternoons, 2 to 5 I called agents. I called you guys. First time in 20 years. I found you guys were receptive. And my goal was to tell 10 my first year. I told an average of 5 a month, just doing it 2 to 5 Friday afternoons, carving out a little bit of time, and I referred 40 in 10 months. 8 months. 5 a month for 8 months. I referred 40, which is this number down here. And that unlocks all 7 generations. You refer 5 and unlocks generation 2, 10, 3, 15, 4, 20, 25, and then a jump of 15 to 40 unlocks all 7 generations. It's interesting. It's called, write this down, you ready? Compensation for contribution. The more you contribute to the growth of the company, the more you're compensated. Send 40 agents to Long and Foster. Send 40 to Remax or Berkshire Hathaway, Better Homes. Send 40, see what you get. I know Remax, where I'm from, did a couple 3-day weekend cruises, cheap cruises, you refer an agent. I won it twice, I didn't go on them. Right? What happened here is a fairy tale story. It's unbelievable. We'll edit that, that sounded weird. Okay, now, so it's really good what happened. So you want to know what happened? Watch this. My goal was to tell 10 people and earn $28,000 my first year. And then in a 5-year period, help the 10 I attracted to eXp, tell 10. To enroll 10 for our company so they could get leads, they could get training, they could get stock awards, they could receive revenue share, then help them do what I did, help each of them till 10. If you have 10 until 10, how many do you have on generation 2 or tier 2? How many? 10 times 10 is what? 100, you have 100 people. How much do you get paid for every agent on tier 2 that caps? $3,200. Well, they won't all cap. Every one of them capped. Because I only talked to people who did 8 or 10 sales or more. I did not talk to new agents. You build a company, you just sign up 40 brand new agents who've never sold a home, your company's going to suffer and it's going to be hard for you. You're going to be real busy. So I made it a point. I asked how many agents in this, in the Maryland area, 20,000. I think you can find 10. So my goal is to find 10 and help them each sell 2 a year for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, I'd have 10 until 10 or 100 agents. 100 capping agents at 3,200 is 320,000 a year, plus the 28 for the 10 I told, 348,000 a year outside of real estate sales. I'm like, that is not far-fetched and crazy. I'll run a further one by you. Go get 10 listings in the next 10 weeks. Well, I need the leads. You need money, marketing dollars. So then you got to be good. You're showing up. You're with the 25-year Remax agent. You're with the 30-year Century 21 agent. You're with that 18-year aggressive Keller Williams agent or some new hot shop from Better Homes who's been there 5 years and it's just good. You got to get it. How hard is it to get 10 listings? Now, if you're a listing agent, that's not hard. But for the average agent, how hard is it to go get 10 listings? Hard. How about 10 agents? Agents are, what's more rare, listings or agents? Look around this room, agents are everywhere. I was trying to do 10 my first year, I did 40 in 8 months. It was just easier than I thought. And then what happens is those agents, those 100, they start telling people who tell people who tell people. This is how Coldwell Banker had 100,000 agents. The Coldwell and Banker, 2 people told a few people, who told some more people, and ended up with 100,000 people. Century 21 started with just a handful of people, became 80, 100,000 agents. Remax now has 120,000 agents. And it started off with Dave Linger in the 70s selling real estate in Colorado. But as soon as he told enough agents, last April I started making over 100,000 a month in revenue share. and which is 1.2 million a year. I go, why am I listing homes? So I stopped. Now you don't have to do that. I stopped. I don't have to do real estate anymore. 20 years of being on that treadmill. If you don't do this, what are you going to do? My friend in the back there sells a lot of homes, makes a good living. But he said, every day I roll up my sleeves and I go to work. And that's what it is. You got to grind it out. It's just, thank God we love people. Thank God we love real estate. But there is no end in sight if you work for a traditional brokerage. Try this. Stop putting homes in escrow. What will those companies do? They stop paying you. You're paid to, so you have to work year after year. Well, I'm up to 70 homes a year. You're busier than you've ever been. Your marriage may be an issue if you're not good at setting boundaries with work. I mean, you're at Little League on the phone. You're at soccer on the phone. You're missing your kids growing up. This is a whole other talk, the boundaries thing. Next sporting event I go, if I catch you on the phone, I'll bust you up. You, just kidding. Just kidding all day. I had a little too much coffee. So I want you to take the phone, put it on airplane mode, throw it in the dashboard, and say, I'm going to be present for my 8-year-old soccer game. I'm not missing the tournament to show property. Oh, I might lose a commission. Yep. See, there's balls we juggle in life, right? Finances, health, your marriage, this. But your family, that one's made out of crystal. The rest of the balls, you pull out of some escrows, you blow in business, it'll bounce. You can pick back up anytime you want. There's one you can never get back. And that's your family, that's your kids. Some of you, your teenage daughter, your teenage son, they need you so bad, and you're just working all the time because you sold out to Coldwell Banker, you sold out to Keller Williams. Gary Keller's fighting passionately to tell people this is a bad idea. Every time big stars go, he flies into Austin. I've seen it happen dozens and dozens and dozens of times. He's a billionaire, he's set for life. The rest of the agents are struggling, and as this market gets tighter and tighter and tighter, the grind becomes more real. And your overhead doesn't change. Your mortgage is your mortgage. Your lease on your Lexus or your Chevy Suburban doesn't change. Are you with me? What have you got to lose by trying? Here's what you got to lose. Hearing someone say, I told you so. I told you it wouldn't work. What I decided 2 years and 3 months ago is I'm okay with I told you so. I am so okay to try eXp and fail and go back to them with my hat in hand to Keller Williams and say, take me back. You were right, I was dumb. I told you so. Okay, are you done? Because I can get back to selling real estate because I had 6 kids who are counting on dad. You with me? So you get the idea, and when I finally, 8 months later, I had gotten to 40. Every agent on this level is 4,000 an agent. Guess how many I had 8 months later on that level? Only 10 that were doing 8 to 10 sales. So 10 times 4 is how much? 40,000 a year. My 8th month I had locked just from generation 7. I also got paid all the agents on 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. They put a lot of money in the first 3 levels because that's where most people get. On 2 levels alone, I showed you how to make $348,000 a year. It's turned into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and today thousands. I missed it. No, you didn't. We just got on NASDAQ last week. We've just become relevant. We're going from 16,000 to 40,000 to 100. We're inviting you to be a part of this. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Did you buy a franchise? Did you sign a commercial lease? Did you do? No. So, cascading revenue share, there's a smaller example. I'm going to skip it for time. Who do you talk to? Anyone in the U.S. or Canada? You're like me. I was in Roseville, California. You guys don't even know where Roseville is. It's a suburb of Sacramento. My whole world for 20 years was Roseville. Rockland, Granite Bay, Loomis, Lincoln, Antelope. If people couldn't afford that, Citrus Heights, if they really couldn't afford that. That was my world for 20 years. Your world is Baltimore, Maryland, probably, unless you drove a long ways. But you've been head down, butt up, working your bottom off for a long time. Now you can call a cousin in Washington, a friend up that moved to Canada, someone you met at a Mike Ferry event, a Brian Buffini event, or a mega camp, or a family reunion, or Star Power, for those of you that are old dogs. That company's no longer around, but remember, we all went to these things. You know people all over the country. I never got past the G's on my phone. I look at the A's, and oh yeah, Albert Schweitzer. Okay, that's a little corny, but you get the idea. B, Bob Cannoli. Oh, Bob Anderson. Who's Bob? I don't remember him. Must be a seller lead or a buyer lead. And I never got past the G's. Oh my gosh. Call anyone. James is my COO, Chief Operating Officer. I've been here, this is my 2nd time to the East Coast in 2 years and 3 months, I think, right?
Yeah.
How many people do we have on the Eastern Seaboard now?
1,200.
1,200. I know you did the past 2 years and 3 months. I've only been here twice. You'll have, the other day I said, how many people do we have in Ohio? Like 20? How many do we have in, do you know?
Yeah, 106.
106, I think 20 is no, we have 106 in Ohio. We're in all 50 states. It's not about me. I just told a few people in Roseville, California, you didn't even know them, but they called their aunt, their uncle, their best friend, their high school friend, someone they met at a Mike Ferry conference, someone they met at a RE/MAX annual convention. And it just went, like, right? Okay, so we'll end with this. We have a back office experience called Enterprise. You manage the whole thing. You see all your commissions. You see all your stock awards. Point and click. It's really slick. SkySlope is how we manage the transactions. Lead generation, branding, marketing, private groups on Facebook. We do live meetings. We do cloud meetings. You're going to have an office. Do you have Regis corporate suites around here? So they give you a card, and they cost anywhere from $100 a month to $500 a month for a Regis corporate suite membership. Yours is free. Compliments of eXp. You go in there, you say, my clients will be here in 20 minutes. There's 2 people usually at the front desk. They call you up, hey Brent, your clients are here. Oh, welcome. The Andersons are here. You welcome, hey, come on back to the conference room, just like you did at RE/MAX, just like you did at Keller Williams. You have an office environment to work out of. But I want my own office. And Coldwell Banker gives me a free office. Really, you don't pay anything. Nope, I don't pay anything. What'd you pay him to work there last year? $50,000. Okay, you're paying for your office. They're not going to give you a free office. You're getting money from them. Now, some of you, I had a gentleman here who says, well, I only pay my broker $13,000 a year, and our cap is $16,000. So it would cost this person $3,000 a year to come here. And if they stay where they are, they'll save $3,000. And other people, I only pay my broker $7,000 a year. So if they come, it'll cost them $9,000 a year because we're $16,000 a year, right? Now, if you don't sell a lot, it won't cost them anything. That's only if you cap. If you're only selling 3 or 4 homes a year, it won't cost you anything at all. But if you're going to cap, it's 16, right? So here's the deal. Okay, you can stay where you are. What's going to change? Nothing. I'm exhausted. I need some escrows, right? Nothing's going to change. So is it worth $3,000 to you to have this opportunity of eXp? For me, I decided it was. Of course, the cap at Keller was $27,000 a year. I dropped to $16,000. They give me an extra $11,000 a year for marketing, which helps me and my team and I sell more homes. So, you know, join the company everyone's talking about, the Amazon of real estate. That was our founder's vision. Market Watch, Wave Group, Best Place to Work 2018 by Glassdoor. It's a big deal. Inman News won most innovative real estate company for 2018 in all of North America, eXp Realty. There it is, 80-20 split, $16,000 cap. Once you're at 16, you go to 100%. You'll get an ICA which goes over all this. $149 to start up, one-time fee, not every year. At RE/MAX, I paid $320 every year for 12 years. This is one time. You get business cards and beautiful brochures for your buyer and seller presentations. Your tech fee is $50 a month. And then there's a one-time $420 fee taken out of your first transaction. So you pay that, and that pays for your cloud classes, 5 to 10 a day, all year round. So it's $420 taken out of your first transaction. That's our eXp University Educational fee. It's a fair amount of money. So what's it cost to be at eXp every month? $50. If you're married, you're a husband and wife, you'll share a $16,000 cap. If you're domestic partners, you'll share a $16,000 cap. You share the $50 tech fee. It's $25 each. For the $50 tech fee, you're going to get a world-class website, which we talked about earlier, Conversion Commissions Inc. You're going to get a Regis Corporate Suite membership. You're going to get SkySlope, which is $100 a month, and you're going to get Breakthrough Broker, a marketing platform, all for this $50 a month. So overhead of an eXp agent, very, very low. You don't have to market the website. I recommend you do. I recommend a $100 a month ad spend on marketing your website. We don't want you to be like this RE/MAX agent. I love my website. It's pretty. My clients think it's pretty. How many leads do you get? Nothing. How many rather have 10 to 20 leads a week, 40 to 80 leads a month, right? You with me? All year, you're going to sell more real estate. Every time you sell a home, it's a $25 broker review fee, and the E&O is $40 per sale, capped at $500 a year. At one point, RE/MAX was paying $1,800 a year for E&O, all of us. And then they dropped it to $1,200. Then I went to Keller Williams, it was $600. Now I'm at eXp, it's $500. E&O has been a profit center for companies like Long & Foster and RE/MAX and Better Homes for years. For years. A local brand in Sacramento, Alliance, every 6 months they have the agents pay, I heard, like $800. And, you know, that's when you sell one home, what'd you pay for E&O for the one deal? $800. Sell a home the next 6 months, what'd you pay for E&O? At eXp, you only pay for it as you need it. You sell 2 homes a year. What do you pay for your NEO? $80 for the year. You don't owe the difference to $500. What if I only do $8,000? I only sold 4 homes. Do I owe eXp 8? No. You just be on 80-20 all year on your 4 sales. And 80-20 is a very great. There is a ton of food behind those doors. They have a scrumptious lunch prepared for you. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for having me out.